A few years back, I did a product review of the Kaito KA-210 AM/FM pocket radio. This is a nice little affordable AM/FM radio. It could fit inside of an Altoid tent if you really wanted to. But today I'd like to do a product review of its big brother, the Kaito KA-210 AM/FM and NOAA weather band pocket radio. As you can see, it's a little bit larger than the KA-200, both in length and width. But it has a very similar interface to it. So you have your stereo headphone jack over here. You have the controls. So you have a little switch over here from going from FM to AM to NOAA. You have your telescoping antenna on the top here. On the front dial, you have your FM on top, your 7 channels of NOAA weather band in the midsection, and then on the bottom you have your AM stations. You also have a little tuning indicator LED that you see here, and then you have your tuning knob or dial over here on the right, and then to turn it on you're just going to flip up the power. So while the KA-200 runs on 2 AAA batteries, this one runs on 2 AA batteries. And the best thing about it is it's very affordable at only $20 on Amazon.com, which is a really good price for having a pocket radio that also has NOAA weather band and a good quality one. For example, the Sangean DT400W, which I also reviewed, also has that NOAA weather band, but this one is more than twice the price of the KA-210 pocket radio. So if you like having the feature of having NOAA weather band, but don't want to really spend $45, $50 on the Sangean, which is a great little radio, the Kaito KA-210 is a great choice for that. It also features, while it doesn't have a flat bottom on it, you also have these little flat tails, kind of legs that you see here to help do a tail stand. It also comes with a nice little lanyard. So as always, let's do an overview of all the features of it, and I'll talk a little bit about the pros and cons. So let's get started with this product review featuring the Kaito KA-210 AM/FM NOAA weather band radio. For those of you unfamiliar with NOAA, NOAA stands for National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And basically, when you're going to have these 7 channels here, it's going to provide you with local as well as regional forecasts as well as emergency alerts. And some of the emergency alerts that it provides you with are severe storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, extreme heat, winter storms, fire threats, tsunamis, and solar flares. So needless to say, this is a great radio choice for those that are interested in emergency preparedness. That's a lot of the information that you'd want to receive in an emergency. So to go to the NOAA weather band on the KA-210, we're going to turn it on first. So right now it's on AM, so we're going to switch it over to NOAA. And it kind of has like this almost like automated tone to it. So let me turn the volume up really quick.
Warnings in effect at this time. However, avalanche dangers may exist. For more complete avalanche information, please visit the website at WA.
Let's do a quick little size and weight check. So the Kaito KA-210 is about the same size as a deck of cards, as you see here, which is also a pretty similar size to what the Sangean DT400W pocket radio that also has NOAA weather band is. So as you see here, this one's actually a little bit thicker. Let's do a quick little weight check. A little postal scale here. So with the batteries, it's going to weigh in right around 4.8 ounces or 135 grams. Now let's do a brief demonstration of the FM, AM, and NOAA weather stations. So let's turn it on again. Should still be on NOAA.
Highs in the mid-50s to near 60. Wednesday night.
So I'm going to turn on full volume now.
A chance of showers, mainly in the mountains. Lows in the upper.
The NOAA is a little bit staticky. It kind of depends on where you're located at on what channel is going to work out best for you. So that's on full blast. So it's not the loudest of radios that I've heard, although it doesn't really have a large speaker either. So let's go to AM.
For Dallas, the way he played, for whatever reason, he wasn't there tonight.
So that's a nice volume here. I mean, it's not going to totally fill up a large room, but for this small little room here, it's kind of blasting.
To this point, and the clock is ticking right now, but it doesn't seem.
All right, so when we want to go to the FM station, we're going to have to make sure to extend the telescoping antenna. You see here. Here's the length of it, really quick. And let's switch over to FM. Let's go to, I don't know. See if I get that signal there. So as you expect, the bass is kind of weak on it. I mean, it's not really a thick woofer or anything like that. But when you do have your headphones in, it has stereo headphones, it's going to sound really nice. It's hard to demonstrate on the YouTube video, but you're going to have to take my word on it. When you plug in those headphones in there, that FM station is going to sound very clear. When it's just using this little speaker here, you know, kind of at the limitations of the size of that speaker. Now let's go over the pros and cons, starting off first with the pros. So the number one pro with this particular radio is the cost of it. At $20, it's a really great price for having an AM, FM, and NOAA weather band radio. For most other radios, they're either going to be a lot more, like the Sangean, which is around almost $50 or so, or you might see some that are a little bit less, but the quality of it is going to be a lot less than this one. I think that this one's probably the best quality at that price range. And while this one is twice the price of the Kaito, I don't feel that the Kaito KA-210 is half the efficiency of what you're getting on that, especially with the NOAA weather band. I think it's very good for the price. I do like that it has analog tuning on here. For example, if this display over here were to get damaged, you'd have a hard time seeing what station you're on. With this one, even if you're going to crack the screen or whatever, you're still going to be able to do the tuning on it, and it's going to work just fine. I also like that it has the nice little legs that you see here to allow it to do a tail stand, which I think is an important thing for a radio. I also like that it has a common battery type at 2 AA batteries. I also like that it includes a telescoping antenna, which is similar to what the KA-200 has, and that's something that's lacking on the Sangean radio. This one relies on the headphones, or actually an add-on soft antenna that you could add on there, but if you were to lose that, you would no longer have FM radio with this particular one. But with this, you don't really have to worry about it unless you're actually to damage the telescoping antenna on that. I do like that it comes with a nice little lanyard here. I think that's very efficient. It's a nice little addition with this particular radio. And I think that's all I have listed for the pros of the Kaito KA-210. Now let's go over the cons. Now the cons that I have with the KA-210 are very similar to the ones I previously had with the KA-200. Let's start off first with the band selection that we have here. So we have a switch here that controls the bands. So with the KA-200 we have FM, AM, power off. With the 210, we have FM, AM, NOAA. There's no power off. I really wish that you would actually turn on and off the radio using this switch here instead of using the volume knob. I think that this would be less prone to accidentally being turned on in comparison to this dial that we have here. You know, it'd be very easy for something like that to happen compared to switching the switch that we see here. And the next problem I have with this band selection switch is that it seems a little bit out of order with the face of the radio. Actually, it is out of order. So basically we have FM, AM, NOAA. But when you're looking at the face of the radio, we have FM, NOAA, AM. I would think that the band selection here would match what is on the face. So if we're going to keep the same face design with FM, NOAA, AM, I think it should be FM, NOAA, AM, like that, and I would prefer it to be off there. So it just seems a little bit mismatched. For example, on the KA-200, you have FM, AM, power off, and you have FM on top, AM on bottom. Makes sense. This one doesn't make as much sense. The next con that I have with it is with regard to the dials. Kaito doesn't use a recessed dial design. I really wish that they would. For example, when you're looking at the radio at the side here, you could see those dials here because they're not recessed. In comparison, let's look at the Sangean, which has a dial here at the top, but you see how it has that little indent there, so it's going to be a recessed dial. So when you're looking at it straight on, you don't actually see the dial, so it's going to be less prone to actually being turned on. But with the Kaito design, you see that dial just flush with the complete side of the radio. And it's not as much of a problem with the KA-200 because it's such a small radio. It's still, you can see those dials there, but none of these dials are actually controlling the power on and off of the radio because that's on the switch here. So it's more of a problem on this one because you're actually turning on the power through this dial here. So again, I wish the Kaito would recess the dial knobs that you see here, similar to what you have with the Sangean design, so they'd be less prone to being activated when they're in your pocket or when it's stored in the backpack. And then the next thing that I don't like about it is I do not like how the off is on the top here, and to turn up the volume, you're actually scrolling down on the dial. It seems really counterintuitive to me. So if they're going to do this design of having the power on, and then doing the volume control here, I wish that it was off here, and then when you go up, the volume goes up. Instead, when you go up, the volume goes down. When you go down, the volume goes up. It doesn't really make that much sense to me. It just seems like it should be reversed. And that is all I have listed for the cons of the Kaito KA-210. That's going to do it for this product review of the Kaito KA-210 AM/FM NOAA weather band radio. Despite the cons, I still like this radio due to the price point of it. At $20, it's really hard to beat. I think it's for a $20 or less radio that has NOAA weather band on it. I think it's the best one that I've tested so far. And even though it's not at the same kind of quality as what you get from the Sangean, at that price point, it's really hard to beat. And it has a pretty good signal, I think, on all three bands that we have with this one, especially when you're using the headphones. I think that the FM stations sound very clear, and you actually hear a little bit of the bass compared to the speaker. You know, with that size of speaker, you kind of get what you'd expect for, you know, that kind of form factor of a speaker. So I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this brief little product review of the Kaito KA-210 radio. Please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Focusing on the NFL draft is right around the corner, and who should the Seahawks be targeting? We'll talk to Mike Sando about that. We start at noon.